go ahead and ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Here.
Commissioner Jaquez? Absent. Commissioner Hamrick?
Here.
Commissioner Meisner?
Here.
Commissioner Payne? He's here via Zoom. Commissioner Reed? Absent. Commissioner Reeser?
Here.
Commissioner B. Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Tomar? Absent. Chairman Smith?
Here. Thank you. We now have on the consent agenda a need to approve the minutes for the URA meeting on September 21st and November 4th of 2020. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor.
I move we approve the minutes from the September, was it November 4th, 2020 meeting?
And September 21st.
September 27th.
And September 21st, 2020 meeting?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second by Commissioner Smith. And is there any discussion? And we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Hamrick?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Reeser?
Aye.
Aye.
Got it?
Commissioner B. Smith?
Aye.
Chairman Smith?
Aye. Thank you. I'd now like to open the public hearing, and this is an introduction and adoption by title only of Resolution 4, Series 2020, entitled "A Resolution to Adopt the 2021 Budget for the Canyon City Area for Reinvestment Expansion and to make appropriations for the same."
Commissioners, this is the 2021 budget as we have put it together. It is a fairly lean budget. It accounts for having some seed money through the cooperation agreement that the commission will consider later tonight. And we do have our finance director, Tammy Nordyke, on the phone as well to answer any questions if there are any.
Are there any questions?
Maybe.
Madam Chair, this is Tim Payne. Yeah, I got a couple things.
Sure.
Okay, we had talked last time on the salary for your economic development manager coming out of this at 10%. Is there a cost allocation plan for that? And is there documentation for that yet?
So the cost allocation plan is part of the cooperation agreement. So that is Exhibit A in the cooperation agreement, breaking down all of the costs for the different staff.
But how did we arrive at those numbers?
Again, that's going to be on our best guess based off of the projects that we have. Until we have a better idea of the number of projects that are coming through and the amount of time that is spent on each of those projects. We're estimating, and I think we're being very conservative at 10%, that will be the amount of time that economic development spends on that with the urban renewal. I know, we've got a little bit of a pilot project here with St. Cloud coming through, and the amount of time that Rick has spent on the urban renewal side of that. So that's kind of what we're trying to use as the litmus tests with some of that.
Okay,
And just to clarify, conservative means in this case that we've overestimated the time that we think is going to be spent. Is that correct?
In this,
So in other words, this is what we're approving is up to this percentage. essentially. We expect it to be less, but it could be up to this percentage.
Well, I think, we're expecting it to be 10%, but as we get into the projects and we look at the project pipeline that we have for next year, it may end up being more than 10% for next year. But what we're budgeting and what we're paying for next year is 10%. So, but we do, there is the potential, especially if some of the big projects go through, we do anticipate economic development spending a lot of time on urban renewal.
Thank you.
Commissioner Meisner, do you have a question? Because you had kind of mentioned that you might.
Presumptive.
Well, you had said, hey, I think I have something.
Oh,
If you don't, that's
No, I
okay.
don't.
If that's the case, if there isn't any more discussion, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 4, Series of 2020. We need a motion first.
there's already, didn't somebody already do that?
No.
Madam Chairman and Commission, I do so move to adopt Resolution 4, Series of 2020.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll call a vote, please.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez? Commissioner Hamrick?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Reeser?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Chairman Smith?
Aye. And we're now on item 5A for discussion. That's the introduction and adoption by title only, Resolution 2, Series 2020, entitled "A Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Canyon City Area for Reinvestment Expansion Approving its Bylaws."
We had a pretty lengthy discussion on this at the last meeting. This is bringing forward the bylaws for approval, and our attorney, Catherine Sellers, is on the line if there are any additional questions regarding bylaws.
Councilmember, or Commissioner Meisner.
I thought we had a discussion about non-physical presence at meetings, like we have now. And that verbiage there, does it, I didn't think it allowed for it the way that verbiage is written. Because we had to modify city in order to have that participation. I mean, it doesn't, even though it doesn't designate how that attendance is.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, and Catherine, you might correct me here, I believe the recommendation from Corey was to bring forward a separate resolution regarding digital meetings.
Yeah, it's to actually establish a separate policy for that and not put that into the bylaws.
So, right, that would be a policy.
So does that enable the virtual people to participate in tonight's meeting after the adoption of the rules without a resolution?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Is there any other discussion?
Well, it doesn't say you can't.
And per COVID restrictions, this is the only way we can conduct this meeting legally. Any other discussion on the bylaws?
I think these situations are slightly different. I think the policy that Commissioner Meisner is referring to at the city is something that's was adopted before the pandemic, and frankly hasn't been modified for the pandemic, and the city's been running meetings with virtual participation.
All right, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2, Series of 2020.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to pass the resolution number 2, series of 2020.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Hamrick?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Reeser?
Aye.
Commissioner B. Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Tomar?
Aye.
Chairman Smith?
Aye. And per the bylaws that have just been adopted, the mayor pro tem will now be the chairperson for the URA, and we'll turn the gavel over to Commissioner Payne, or Commissioner Hamrick.
So that's a virtual pass of the gavel.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've adopted the bylaws, the next item for discussion, actually introduction and adoption by title only, Resolution 3, Series of 2020, entitled "A Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Canyon City Area for Reinvestment Expansion, approving the cooperation agreement between CCARE and the City of Canyon City." And Ryan, do you have a presentation?
We just have the staff report for this. This did go before the city council for approval on Monday night. There was one alteration to the agreement. Page 4, item 4.2, the last sentence, the employees of the city listed in Exhibit A know of and consent to co-employment by the city and authority. That line was stricken from the agreement and approved by city council. There should be copies, I believe, at your dais. And with that, we would entertain any questions.
Do we have any questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, I'd like to, yes, go ahead, please.
Chairman, this is Tim Payne.
Yes.
I want to back up just a hair here as a point of order on a couple of things. We had a public hearing. Did we ask if the public had any input during that public hearing? And number 2 point of order is, how is it when we adopted the bylaws that you automatically became chairman? I don't see that in the bylaws. How did that happen? So I had 2 things there.
Thank you. Let's address the first one first. So perhaps, Catherine, you can help us out there. Do we need to back up on the public hearing?
Well, do you have any public present?
We do not.
And is there any public on the call? There's not. So there's no public present. So although technically maybe it wasn't formally addressed, there's no public present to give comment, and you've already adopted the budget at this point, so.
Okay.
Have we checked to see that there are
Technically,
comments
Kevin
on Facebook?
Grantham is public, just to be public about that.
Have we
That's
checked?
right, Kevin's public.
Okay, and then on the, so I think we have resolved that.
Sorry about that.
So on the second point of order, I was looking in here, there was the bylaws that I did review previously called out for the mayor pro tem to chair the meetings. And I'm looking for that. Catherine, do you happen to know where that is in our bylaws?
No, I'm not aware of that. The officers of the authority, including the chair, are to be elected at January, so that will happen next month, but I'm not aware that the mayor pro tem takes over. I'm not seeing that anywhere in here.
I don't remember reading that either.
I'm not,
So actually, I did a quick scan. I did not see it in here either, but it was in a previous version of the bylaws that we did have. But the version that we just...
well, I don't have a problem with you being chairman for a month, and then we'll have an election next month. So we'll just keep going.
Okay, with that comment, I
I
think
nominate Kevin.
we'll continue as we are here. And so where we are then is, we've had a discussion of resolution, is there any further discussion of Resolution 3, the cooperation agreement?
Hey, John, I do have a question.
Sure.
This Lance. Sorry I was late to this meeting. I mistimed my drive time. The 1% that we're paying on the advance, and I wasn't here for your budget approval, but you've got an interest of $500. Is that the interest that we're paying back on that 1% that you guys donated in?
Ryan, do you have a,
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
Well, 1% a year doesn't equal 500, it equals 5,000.
Tammy, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the C-Care budget statement that says interest $500.
Which page is he?
Yeah, and actually, yep, go ahead, Tammy.
I'm on here now. That is just an estimate of interest earnings that we could possibly be receiving once we actually.
Oh,
get
okay, that's the interest, that's
funding.
right, I'm sorry. That's a revenue, I
Yeah.
see. I'm sorry. What
Right.
about a line item for the interest we're gonna pay on that?
So when we get the agreement in place, we are anticipating that there will not be a payment for the first 2 years, and the repayment will start in the third year is what we were looking at, but that will be brought back for approval
Okay,
of both city council and of the URA.
Good.
Okay.
okay, are there any further questions? Then I'd like to call for a motion.
Right here, I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we approve Resolution 3, Series of 2020.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by our commissioners. And is there any discussion? And I would call for a vote.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Payne?
Yes,
Commissioner Reeser?
Aye.
Commissioner B. Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Tomar?
yes.
Commissioner A. Smith? Chairman Hamrick?
Aye. And now I believe our next agenda item is an executive session.
We do?
Before we get started, on that motion, Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem, whatever your title is,
Yes.
Yeah.
do we have the authority to invite our commissioner-elect that is going to be heavily involved in this whole process to be in that executive session?
I believe that'd be a question for our legal counsel.
No, I would recommend against it until the commissioner actually takes his seat on the URA.
That's not fair.
Thank you, Commissioner-elect Grantham, for being so understanding.
So while they're chatting, what do we call it? Chair?
Yeah, it's a chair.
Mr. Chair, I move that we I make a motion that we have an executive session to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, develop a strategy for negotiations, and/or instruct negotiators pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024E regarding the St. Cloud Hotel.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I still think Kevin should be there.
Hearing none, will please call the roll.
Commissioner Dennehy?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Meisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeser?
Aye.
Commissioner B. Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Tomar?
Here.
Commissioner A. Smith?
Aye.
Chairman Hamrick?
Aye.